Yes, now we're live.
We're live on the RCGroups podcast. How you doing, everybody? I'm your host, Matt Gunn. Jim T. Graham is my assistant. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, we switched up software at the last second here. They were like, "Oh, by the way, the software you're using is now changed," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. So since we switched software, I just decided we'd switch hosts. So I've become your host just for about 15 seconds, and you can take back over now.
I don't know if my fan, sexy wife, is going to appreciate this. She was taught all kinds of, I don't know who she is, but she left us some messages on YouTube.
Yeah, she really liked you.
Eagle Tree John, what's up?
Oh, he's got no sound.
Jason, you could write on paper and respond in a artistic manner as opposed to.
Let's just shoot over so everyone can see Jason. Even though there's no sound, Jason learned sign language, and no, we got nothing out of you, buddy.
Hi, I'm Jason Cole. Boy, my hair's long. Oh,
I wanna fly like an eagle. All right, he's gone. Hey, everybody, I'm gonna leave. My name's John.
There goes John. Bye, John.
All right.
Talk to you later, John.
All right, everybody. Okay, so that was fun.
You know what's happening, Matt?
Tell me.
Jason's birthday is coming up.
So then, what does that mean?
He's going to be 22.
Which is also coincidentally the number of haircuts Jason has received in his life.
Look how bushy that hair looks.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, there you are.
You can hear me?
Yes, what happened?
What the heck? I have no idea what happened.
Did you hear us?
Now they can hear me.
Now bring the PC into the room, and it works.
We just needed to think fool the Mac into thinking we were about to switch to a PC, and then the audio decided to work.
Yeah, it was
guys,
afraid.
We may or may not have a special guests. They weren't. Let me take my toothpick out of my mouth. They weren't sure if they had the okay to discuss the topic that we were going to discuss.
Sharing earbud.
So
I won't stick it in. I'll just look cute.
Oh, look at really this. Our roommates.
Look at this. Let's go ahead and share that.
Right. Get off me, man.
Screenshot.
Oh my gosh, you guys need to get a room. Oh wait, you have one.
Yeah, this is it. You can see the whole room right now.
So Jason, we were wondering how you're doing. I mean, you probably can't tell us, but are you doing good or bad?
I can't tell you, but we're doing pretty good, I'd say.
We're here. We're still here.
I'm still in Croatia.
I thought if you started doing bad that you would just FaceTime me from like home and not mention that you were not in Croatia anymore, and that's how I would know that you were back.
Yeah, if in 2 weeks I'm podcasting from my house, then you'll know we didn't do so well.
Yeah.
Well, next week is Nash Bro, so I won't even know.
That sucks that I'm missing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, drop your volume just a little bit. You got a little feedback.
I have no volume control over the microphone.
It's your audio.
So, well, as much as you can tell us, how are things going? Give us just a little feedback without getting too in depth. And
are we broadcasting?
We're live.
Oh, we've been live.
Yeah.
Jason Cole is in Croatia on a TV show, and he can't talk about it.
What? Yeah, so things are going well. We're having a good time. The challenges are amazing. Like, I cannot wait for the show to come out because I think it's going to look really cool. It's just like stuff that you might dream up that you could do someday, and then there's no chance you'll ever do it unless you're on a freaking TV show that's doing it. Mm-hmm. And it's cool stuff. So it's really exciting. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but man, it's a good time.
Well, kudos to the creative for actually impressing you, which I'm sure would be hard as a real FPV.
Yeah.
So are the producers FPV?
There's Luciano.
Luciano.
Hey, Lucky Luciano.
Hola.
Viva la Mexico.
Mis raíces están aquí.
15, and tomorrow 16 is our Independence Day.
Independence Day in Mexico tomorrow.
What?
Cool.
I didn't know that. I'm going to have to go back to the Mexican restaurant.
Sweet. That's a good idea.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let's say you had an airplane for sale and it was fully loaded with a 41 AP, return to home, loiter, had everything set up except cameras. and a guy wanted to buy it who was a newbie to FPV, would you just hand that airplane over to such a person?
Well, you know what? That's a good question, because I just watched a video of a jet crash on Flying Giants where it turns out that the guy just sold this gentleman a very high-performance turbine jet, and on his maiden flight, he destroyed it. Literally balled it up on landing, bounced it, and then it cartwheeled. So I guess the answer would be yeah, sure.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding. That's a loaded gun topic, man. It depends on if you want to take some time and show him the ropes or not. I mean, if he's dead set on buying it, yeah, sell it to him with the disclaimer that you're on your own, brother.
This guy ultimately backed out of the deal. But I was thinking maybe that's best, you know. Maybe you don't. 41AP is not simple, and it definitely is trial and error, and you have to be careful with outputs to servos, you know, and voltage and all that stuff. And then I thought, boy, maybe the last thing I wanted to do was sell this airplane to a brand new FPV person. Maybe it was best.
Yeah, it could come back and bite you in the boo-boo, you know, with a bad review in the way of a forum post or something like that. You know, things like that happen, and then you have to go in and explain yourself.
I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to pull the 41AP out of this unit because it was so time-consuming getting everything tuned and working. They're never going to separate these two. Because I thought about doing that as well, selling it separately.
So
you could just dive it into a volcano and let the ashes of the airplane spread across the island.
Jim versus the volcano?
That's how me and my wife want to go out when we're like 80.
Oh,
first
80.
You gotta, if you're 80, how are you gonna get up to the top of a volcano that's going? I mean, you're gonna have to be airlifted up.
I would rent like a Cessna.
No one's gonna rent you a Cessna.
I can get it off the ground.
You gotta pass a medical to fly that thing. There's no way you're gonna pass a medical at 80.
I'll know somebody.
I'm pretty sure one of you are going to back
insurance
out.
Money from it.
By the time you're 80, there will be personal quads to fly in. That's already happened, so it's just going to be.
We'll have our own drone, our private drone to fly.
It won't be a drone though. It won't be a drone. It'll just be a multi-rotor vehicle that you'll sit in.
It'll be the new Boeing X4.
Oh yeah.
But the whole Earth will be a volcano by then, so you know we won't have to go far.
It won't be long, man. It won't be long.
Hey, Matt Gunn, tell us about the contest on RCGroups that isn't even listed yet.
Oh yeah, that contest that we haven't started. So there's some good news coming down the pipeline. We are going to be giving away some Dromeda 1/18th scale RC vehicles.
So you know Dromeda from Quadcopter World, and so now they're making airplanes and cars.
Well, they've done cars for a little while. They started with the airplanes, but they didn't have many cars. I think they started off with that little post-apocalyptic 1/18th scale that shot the Nerf darts. You remember that thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was their entry in, and then they sort of laid low and they played the quadcopter game. Then they got into the airplanes. Now they've come full circle with some really fast brushed and brushless 1/18th scales. So we have a stadium truck. We have a rally car, a road racing car, a monster truck, and a buggy, all four-wheel drive. Everything's four-wheel drive. Brush 370 motors, 2.4 gig, 7.2 volt, NIMH packs, you name it. These things are ready to run. We're going to give them away. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and say exactly what we're going to do, but it will not be too difficult to enter, and somebody's going to win a couple of these things, actually. Heck, we may even give out more. We'll ask our good friends.
Probably not going to give out more.
We'll ask our good friends at Havico how many of these beauties they want to give out, and then we'll just start giving away as Christmas gifts, just for.
And hey to Natalie.
Hey to Natalie. She's awesome for making this possible. So that's cool. Just stay tuned. I just published a news story today about the 3 new offerings from Dromeda, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Speaking of that, where's our man?
He's around here somewhere.
Someone get Nikolai in here, man.
Yeah, he'll ping us in just a second. Let's see what he's doing.
Guess who's coming to Nashville next year? Joe Vermillion. That's right.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, he said he's building an airplane and everything. If he'd have known sooner, he said he'd come to this one. And I said, well, I don't feel bad. Matt Gunn won't come either.
Yeah, I'm sure he said that. I tried, man. I'm on a short leash.
Anyway. You know, Jason Cole, he lives in Nashville. He won't be there either.
Yeah.
I'll be there next year.
We have a lot of people coming. We have some cool T-shirts. Lots of the sale thread is going crazy on that event.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Hey, did I tell you guys about which I think I did, about my second place win in wing racing at the Ready Made RC FPV Fest 2016?
Yes, sir. Congrats, man.
That was a very, very difficult race against that. What is it? TBRC Reflex 38. That was a very, very fast wing. So I was racing the Banshee, and man, I gave it everything she got. What's up, dude?
Nikolai.
How's it going, guys?
Nikolai, you've heard of Sharpoo. You've heard of all the famous quad racers. Do you know what Matt Gunn's side name is for racing wings?
I can only imagine.
Matt Gunn, tell everyone what they were calling out on the PA announcer.
He already looks embarrassed.
Turd Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, that is my name. You know, all these guys got like Mr. Speed and Super Fast and See You Later and Extreme blah blah blah. Well, you know, I'm just Turd Ferguson.
So they're like, Sharpoo's on the inside, Mr. Steele's coming up, and Turd Ferguson's in second place.
Turd Ferguson taking up the rear. No. The reality is that I always found that skit funny on Saturday Night Live with Burt Reynolds, a.k.a. Norm Macdonald. So I'm like, okay, so when I used to go bowling back in the day, I'd always pick Turd Ferguson as my name. And I'm thinking, so I went to Ready Made RC FPV Fest. I'm going to race. I'm like, what's my name going to be? WebDR? Nah, that's too lame. How about Turd Ferguson? And it was funny because Joe Scully, the mouth of the South from north of the border, if you will. I don't know how to exactly put that, but he is
from
one.
Canada?
Yeah, he is from Canada. He is an awesome announcer, and we're going to get him on the show. He agreed to get on here and talk with us and tell us some of his stories. So he's a bull rider announcer turned FPV guy that is just in high demand because not only does he know how to call everybody out, what they're doing, instant feedback, instant stats on the race and stuff like that as it's happening, but he's got a buttery smooth voice too. So he's calling my name out with all seriousness. Turd Ferguson in second place, making a hot lap, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm cracking up under the goggles as I'm racing as he's calling Turd Ferguson.
At least you didn't come in third place.
That's pretty good.
Nikolai, where's that picture you shared with me on Facebook last week after we were making fun of your vocals on that airplane?
Oh, it's on your wall, Facebook wall.
All right, I'm gonna go hunt that down real quick.
Did you get a haircut, dude?
Me? No. I need one.
Yeah.
Speaking of haircuts, one of the guys here went to the local salon and got a free haircut because the lady said she had never cut an American's hair before.
Wow.
He tipped her 20 kuna.
Things could have escalated. You realize that,
I was like,
right?
why didn't I be the first American? I'm going to have to go get my haircut.
You got to live dangerously, dude. You got to walk into Croatian salons and put your money down on the table and then say something in Croatian, and either they love it or they hate it, you know?
So last week we were making fun of Nikolai and what he was saying in his video, which we didn't know, and I said that he was saying his Coke fit perfectly in this spot and was kept cool on the prop. Look at that. Look at the exact fitment of that Coca-Cola.
That's beautiful. I think I'm more concerned with Joe Vermillion's excessive use of Jason's jazzy hands.
Oh no, let me grab that. That was horrific.
That's funny.
That has made its rounds. Courtesy Joe. Courtesy Mean Joe Vermillion. But yeah, that's a good spot for a Coke can. In fact, if you let the prop sit there and push air across it, it might drop a few degrees.
Well, I think if you took the dash panel off of the hatch area there, it might actually fit with the hatch on.
I think that might be a new awesome pilot. You could just use it, like for me, I would have a Dr. Pepper pilot, and then after I flew, I could crack one open.
You know what would also fit right there is, you know those potatoes where you make a clock out of it, you stick the things in one end and it actually makes electricity? Well, there's your battery.
Or a potato head pilot. Mr. Potato Head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice fit.
Nice fitment.
Nice fitment.
So, I have an update
So
on
what's been going on back home, man?
I have a story for you, Jason.
All right.
I put this thing together. It went together in no time, and then I was thinking, well, Jason's gone, and so I thought, well, I'm going to start the review anyway. I did a unboxing of the Radian and a lot of people really like that. And then I was like, well, I should watch some videos on the Radian before I make my video in case things out there that I need to be aware of. So this guy was like, the first thing I have to say is be very careful when you screw your wing on. And I'm like, yes. He said, because they glue the antenna next to the screw mount for the wing. And if you're not careful, it'll crimp it like mine. And he showed his being crimped. And I'm like, oh, my Lord. So
you're like, wait a minute, let me go check something.
Unscrew everything, pull the wing off. And not only did I dent the receiver antenna, I sheared it in half.
Oh.
I was so unhappy, but that's good because when I write the review, I'll tell everyone out there not to do that, and maybe I'll save somebody from not being able to go fly their Radian.
Did you let Horizon Hobby know of this potential disaster for returns?
I wrote David Payne, and I wrote Kim too, but if you look at my finger right there, it just happens to have double stick tape on it, but they sent me a new receiver, so I can actually, but Jason, this answers your question, what's going on. Mike Hines and I went out and flew together yesterday.
Cool. Nice.
So and I have a question for our listeners. I put the video up last night. It's of a Hobby King biplane. And I went and looked at the amount of time people watch all our videos. And the average time people watch a video is 3 minutes and 30 seconds, which is the exact length of Mike's first flight. So I have a second flight, but I thought, man, I'm going to try to create a flight video that's the same length as everyone's attention span and see if they like it or if they hate it. So take a look. Tell me if you think it's too short and not enough, because me, I feel like more is more. But
you already had me look at this beauty of a video, and I loved it.
Okay, good. It was.
And
so
you know
simple.
why? You know why I loved it is because there's one thing that I go for in every flight video, and that's the landings. I want to see people land, and you made 2 full landings, 3 actually, 2 touch and goes, and a full stop at the end. That's all the entertainment that anybody needs, man.
Full throttle up and everything like that. So
yeah, you did well, and your camera work was kind of decent too.
Well, 2 things. The first thing is, Jason, I've only shot your camera for the last 5 years, and so when I got mine out, I didn't even know what setting to put it on because I only use it in the studio. And I realized halfway through it was in portrait.
What?
Oh, and then I'll tell y'all a crash story too. But when I got home, I'm like, please be in focus, please be in focus. And it was. I thought it looked great. But Mike flew it, then he flew it, and then he landed, and he turns to me and he says, would you like to fly it? And I was like, sure. But then a little birdie in my head said, hey, man, other people's planes. And I said, no, thanks. And he goes, really? Why? And I'm like, it's your airplane. You know, things happen. And I felt kind of lame, you know, like the guy who's afraid to fly someone's airplane, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, okay. So Mike's like, well, I'll fly the battery out. He takes off.
Oh, no.
I got it on video, but he takes off, and he was using a 5300 3-cell in there, which is kind of big, I think, for that bird. I don't know. Maybe it's perfect. But he did a hammerhead, and then I'm in the camera. The plane is still flying, but I hear this, ka-thunk. It was the LiPo hitting the ground.
What?
Oh.
And I said, was that your battery? And he said, yep. And it was making graceful turns. And I said, well, the plane is flying great. And he goes, and Mike very calmly said, yes, it's flying very serenely to its crash landing.
How did it do? Did it land okay? Did it destroy?
You know, it didn't destroy it. I think Mike probably in an hour could put that thing back together.
Oh my goodness,
That was it.
crazy.
Well,
That's why I always fly
That's
the
why you
Maiden.
filmed the Maiden, right? Yep.
So what happened was that biplane has a door on the bottom, and Mike, it's held in with magnets, and then Mike had put a hinge or something in there so the door wouldn't fly off in flight, which it has happened in the past. And I guess when he did that hammerhead, he didn't have a strap on that battery, and it just ripped the battery out, and it went out through the bottom door, and then the door shut. Because when I found the airplane on the ground, the bottom door was back shut again.
Dude, these are the trials and tribulations of owning model aircraft. I'm telling you. You know?
Seriously.
And it's kind of the walk of shame at that point.
What are you saying,
So
Jason?
while Mike was there, did you guys get video of the XL there, or did you not have a receiver?
I didn't have the receiver. He wanted to go in the morning, which was smart. And I said to Mike, I guarantee the second I come home, that receiver will be at my doorstep. And I walked in the house, and then somebody knocked on the door, and it was the receiver. So we missed it by about an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
But what I'm going to do is this big girl is going to Nashville with me, and I'm going to find somebody who can shoot video, and I'm going to shoot video at Nashville of it.
Good luck. There's only like 4 of us in the world, and 3 of them are on here right now.
Well, another way to go is to find a great sailplane pilot, and I know there'll be a few there, and then let them fly it, and then I'll shoot the video.
Yep.
Well, the good news is I'm T-minus 1 month or less in counting.
Till you get a haircut?
Till I come home.
Oh, sweet, man. We miss you. Jim misses you. He was out writing songs about you when he was
Do we
drinking.
need to invite Tira over for dinner? Is she lonely?
That's super sweet. No, she's doing good. I talk to her every day. She's doing well.
Yeah, it's called alone time.
I think she's watching again. So, hey, honey, love you.
Oh, hey, Tira.
Hey.
Hey ho.
What?
What'd you call my wife?
I have something that I shouldn't show anyone. That's always good, right?
Which
Yeah.
means
Hey.
Yeah, what better time than on a live broadcast?
All right. We all know what this is, right?
Yep.
I love it.
A fine quality radio made of
I love
aluminum.
it so much that I didn't risk bringing it to Croatia with me, so it's still at the house.
There you go. So I'm going to show you the back real fast, and then I'm going to put it down. Are you ready? Are you watching?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
No,
Jason.
I can't see.
What?
Spectrum.
Hello.
Wow.
Hello.
Here, let's go ahead and present to everyone. Whoa, look at that. It almost looks like
It's built in there, right?
it's supposed to be in
Yeah,
there.
sweet, dude.
Okay, I'm going to not show it now because it's not currently for sale. But it does work. So I synced it up to my Inductrix and flew that thing around. Speaking of which, Jason Cole, tell me about the crazy, like this thing is twice as touchy as any radio I have. It's like 100% is really 180% on this thing.
No, it's pretty much the same PPM, PWM signal out. The gimbals are better, so it may feel different, but
It's just
you can,
like
you can program Expo, you can reduce the rates, you can do all the same stuff, but it's not any different on the endpoints as any other radio stock.
I did get into it and watched a couple of videos, and I adjusted the throttle to stop it from ratcheting and made that nice and smooth. There's screws on the inside of this thing. You can adjust everything on that Jetty duplex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
It's
awesome.
it's one of my favorites. It's an awesome radio.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, but I'm a Futaba guy. So.
And while I'm talking about awesome stuff, those Glyph goggles with the Inductrix, I have them out like every other day. Every time somebody comes to the house, Mike came over yesterday. Speaking of which, he bought the articulated landing gear from the Cub. He was really lamenting how he wanted it. And you guys know I'm saving up for an industrial leather sewing machine.
Oh, I know. I almost had to go pick it up for you in Toledo.
And so he came over to the workshop, which is cool and kind of scary because no one's been in the back area in like 5 years, and I'm like, this.
Woo!
I have one more cool thing to show you.
Uh-oh, he's going to get something.
I
What
hate
do
to
you
show
got?
things off that make people jealous.
Well, you love it.
I'm going to show it off. Here it comes. Anyone know what that is?
Oh, let's go ahead and share it. It's a Spencer Sharpie Customs Deluxe.
That is made by an artist named Spencer Norquist. And this is, look at on the edge, he's got red. He's got what appear to be cat's eyes on here.
That is a big old APC right there.
Yeah,
It's called Monster Prop.
It's so big I thought I'll never use it. So if you want to learn more about these special props from Spencer Norquist, go to flyinggiants.com. We have a whole article about this amazing artwork that he does.
He still hasn't sent me the custom glitter one I'm supposed to be doing a review on.
Hey, everyone. We have our special guest, which means you're going to learn about something that was secret until a minute ago. Clint, I guess you got okay. This is Clint from Castle Creations. You got okay to talk about this thing?
What's that, Jim?
What thing?
Yeah,
Tune in next week.
yeah. We had planned on coming on and talking with you about the V5 firmware that we just put out for the multi-rotors.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the first time it's been seen. This is the quad pack controller.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the new DMR.
Right.
All right, that's a dedicated multi-rotor. That's what that stands for. Here's a size comparison. It's substantially smaller.
Little 20 amp.
It's actually started out to be a 20 amp, but when we got into testing and the ratings and everything, the engineers overdid themselves. It ended up being 30 to 40 amp. So 30 amp with the airspeed of 5 miles per hour, cooling air, and then with the 40 amp rating, that's basically if you mount it on the boom. So you get somewhere, I think somewhere around 40 miles per hour airflow when it's mounted on the boom. So it's smaller, and it does 30 and 40 amps are the ratings there.
And then you were talking to me last week about how easy this thing is to program. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh man, it comes out of the box. I don't have any packaging here because it's so new. I just realized that. But it comes right out of the box. You could use the Castle link to access and update firmware. You don't need it initially. You're ready to go. Right out of the package. You can put it on. All the default settings will work. You can program it right through. You can program the flight controller, for example, right through Clean Flight, and then we have a feature that we added. It's kind of like a hybrid. A hybrid. I'm lost for words all of a sudden.
It's okay. No one's watching. Just kidding. Yeah. Everyone's watching.
Yeah, I'm getting a little feedback or something. I got to figure out where that's coming from. But anyway, it's a hybrid rotor, like a RotoSense. And right after you do the calibration process, then you can spin each prop. You get 2 beeps that tells you that you were that it saw you spin the prop, and then you spin it again, and it beeps 4 times, and then you move to the next prop. It confirms with the 4 beeps that hey, I just learned my direction. Basically, you go around and you do all of them at one while you got it in that mode, and then when you power cycle it, it remembers the direction you told it, and you at that point you're ready to go fly and tune your PIDs. Which for me, I found that with the V5 firmware, the PIDs is so consistent. The PIDs are really easy to set up with that firmware.
Well, that does make life easy when you're soldering, because one thing that I hate is soldering everything up, leaving 2 of the heat shrink wires not fully, on there, and then hoping that you get it right. And if you didn't, unsoldering it, and it's always a nightmare.
Yeah, there's a man. I'm getting a lot of feedback. I'm sorry.
Maybe turn your volume down a little bit on your computer.
Check 1 2. Check, check.
Sibilance. Check. How's that?
That's a little better. A little better.
Yeah, I can't hear any feedback now. Good.
Can you imagine being an announcer at a football game and
No way.
getting used to doing that all the time?
No way. It's those guys are special, right?
Oh yeah. So is this these ESCs are aimed at what market? Like the racing crowd, or just mostly a little freestyle exploration?
A little bit of everything. You can use them because of the ratings, 30 to 40 amp rating. You can use them in the aerial photography. You can use them. They fit nicely on the 250 racer. I think I've got some on a 180. Here's just working on this. This is an S racer, just a frame I've got. This is like a 207, and there's I put a picture on Facebook a while back, but I had them covered with the props like that. It's a little teaser, and of course my little I had a little smiley face on the lens too. It kind of rubbed off, but anyway, they make a nice, neat setup. We actually have really nice solder pads. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm chasing the camera, but that's we have the wires already on the controller. We send them out with heat shrink. It's one of those things. They're pretty easy to solder because they're real nice pads. With the Quad Pack 25, you can't see it, but there's some little tiny components. They were never intended to be able to solder easily to the pads. It's all done at manufacturing. And then this guy here, this is the way it comes, of course. You can cut this heat shrink off, unsolder from the tabs, put that right on, and then they come with more heat shrink to stick right on there, and really makes a clean installation. And
so you include an extra piece of heat shrink to cover up your work? That's awesome.
Oh yeah, fantastic. I thought that was a great idea.
Heck yeah, it is.
They sent them over to me a while back, and I was stressing that I was going to install them that way. I wanted them to be neat. I opened up the package, and I'm just like, wow, this is going to be neat. But I wish I had some heat shrink to install that. And then, I went ahead and cut it all off, and I was going to run out and get some heat shrink. And lo and behold, right out of the packaging, the heat shrink fell out. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? That's awesome.
Yeah.
What he meant to say was, what? That's right.
That's right. That's right. They did it. They did it right.
So, Clint, are they multi-shot or one-shot capable or equivalent, or what is it?
Let me pull up my all my specs right here, and I'll have all that in front of me. They're actually auto detecting input signal, and it selects between servo PWM one shot and one shot 125.
Cool.
So basically, that's part of that whole deal. You got your flight controller set up. You've got everything right there, and you get it installed, and then when you start it up, it's ready to go. It senses basically what language it's talking in, whether it's just a regular PWM signal or one shot 125. And the key is it senses that on the power cycle. So if you're going in clean shot, I call it where it's hot, where you're going in clean shot, making some changes. If you happen to activate one shot 125, it's very important to go back and power cycle so that the ESC will see that signal whenever it first comes on.
Well, send a bunch of those to Croatia. We need more parts for the show, man.
Heck yeah.
So what's the ETA on these hitting the ground and getting in everybody's quads?
Man, that's the $1 million question. It's been kept so quiet that today I think there's actually a press release that went out, I believe, almost simultaneously with the show. How cool is that?
Cool.
Nice.
And I believe there's actually some product that actually shipped today. How they work that out, I don't know. It's just one of those things that happens, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, these are going to pop up places really soon. I know there's some orders that are going out really soon. I think they'll be busy Monday with all the press releases going out this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do is I want to make sure that you get one of those to me so we can do a feature on it and get it out in the mass email on Friday. And I'm going to put you on the spot here on the live broadcast and see if we can't get some to give away in a contest to get it out in the hands of the common folks.
Man,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to put me on the spot. That's easy.
Oh.
That is easy. I can certainly do that.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'll get with you after the show on email on that, and we'll get those over to you. I believe, yeah, you guys were already on my list. I made this magical list up, the things that you do to get stuff out there early, and you guys were already on that list. So how cool is that?
Mm-hmm. You know, Joe Vermillion's actually got a quad that he just won, and he was talking to me about doing a review with it, and I don't know, man. Maybe those ESCs would look pretty on that frame.
I bet they would.
We'll have to talk later.
Mr.
Yes,
Tim
sir.
King Jr. has can I say that, or can we'll just talk about he does he already have some in his hands?
I have all ideas that he does. Yeah, pretty sure he does.
But Mr. TK is going to do the review for us on RC Groups, and he and Clint are good friends, and they let's talk about the Heli Extravaganza too before we get out of here.
Oh yeah, the Heli Extravaganza. I don't have the dates in front of me. That's next week though, and I believe it kicks off on Thursday of next week. There's going to be of course, it's at Triple Tree, and that's where they have the Joe Nall Fun Fly. It's going to be down on the helicopter flight line. Actually, let me correct that. The 3D flight line. That's all the way down at the river. Beautiful facility. If you've never been there, you ought to check it out. It's just there's not anywhere that I've been that's just any nicer. It's just beautiful.
September 22nd through the 25th.
Thank you, Jim. And so we're gonna have helicopters, and they'll be on one flight line, and then there'll be an FPV course that, matter of fact, Tim King is going to be running that.
Yeah, that's going to be big having all the FPV stuff in there too.
And I know that we left all our some of our banners with him at Joe Nall, so there should be some RC Groups gates out there as well.
Man, I love flying through an RC Groups gate. That's just
buddy.
awesome.
Well, the difference is when you go through an RC Groups gate, it makes it sound like a slot machine.
Yeah, I love it. And
all the other ones go womp 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 womp.
That's not a bad idea. What if we put like a laser sensor and some kind of sound machine? So when you hit a gate, it would make us. That would be very gratifying.
Yeah. Now we're getting into the Pokemon.
Hey,
that's
very similar on the show.
that would take some electrical devices, wouldn't it?
And then maybe you get a certain amount of money per gate. So one gate's worth $1, one gate's worth $5. You make it to the end, that's $20.
Dang,
Yeah.
man, now we're getting
on
into
how many gates you think you'll get.
Last man flying.
We have that show in Vegas.
It could be done. Oh yeah. Hey, we can start. There's got to be some. You can bet on anything. With RC racing.
Well, Clint, we're excited that you guys are bringing these things out. We're excited that you're advertising over on the RC Groups. I'm sure the ads will be reflecting this soon. And
Yeah.
we have a tech online.
This is actually one of our engineers out at Castle. This is I call him the brainchild sometimes.
Mr. Anderson.
Hey, how's it going?
Is that for Matrix?
Exactly.
If the Matrix comes on and I'm in front of a TV, I'm gonna be watching it. I watch it every time it comes in front of me. So
I think he's having a Jason problem. We don't have audio from Mr. Anderson.
We got it. It's just pretty subdued.
Let me switch mics quick.
yeah.
Sibilant.
Bring a PC into the room if you're on a Mac, and then it will work.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm on a Mac now. Cut that out.
Easy.
That's just what happened to me when we first
You're
started.
muted right now, but that's probably because you're changing mics.
Switching lights.
Check, check.
Check.
It's still moderately quiet.
Moderately quiet.
Sounds like somebody's vacuuming in the background.
I think that's your external mic. Although your headphone, maybe you don't have headphones on that, or a mic on your headphone.
Ladies and gentlemen, technical difficulties. All right.
Well, Jason,
Yo.
are you ready to go to bed? Do you need to jump off here?
Yeah, it's getting late. I'm gonna get some rest. We got another full day tomorrow.
What do you eat for breakfast there in Croatia?
Chicken fingers. Chicken
You want
fingers
me
and
to
a
show
biscuit.
you? I'll show you.
Wait, what time is it right there? Hold on, let's go ahead and
It's
share.
9:42.
You go to bed at 9:42.
Well, yeah, but okay.
You got
So I
school in the
eat
morning?
cocoa balls.
With dinosaurs on it. Holy moly!
Choco balls.
Please take. If you
And,
take that, you know that'll get confiscated if you try to smuggle that back into the
Not
states.
the-
Irradiated Majeko. It's kind of like milk that came from some kind of nuclear test site.
You know
And
you
don't
can
have
milk
to-
anything,
You don't
right?
have to cool it until you open it, so it can be out in the open,
Wow.
and it
Dude, that's
lasts
hamster
for like
milk.
decades. It could be donkey milk. Donkey milk here sells
Oh,
for like so
God.
much. It's so
Donkey
funny.
milk.
Yeah, donkey milk is like a delicacy. I also have
I'm not going anywhere with that.
something familiar to home: Cookie Crisp.
Ooh, kickers.
Jason, I
Real
haven't
loud
seen,
cookies you can't resist.
I haven't
Cookie
seen any
crisp.
vegetables yet. Are there any vegetables in there?
There's vegetables in there. There's
Not
like
that Jason's
some of
gonna
Some of
eat.
this food's not mine, obviously. I've got some jadro. It's like little cookie, like crispy things.
Jadro.
Jason's living on cookies.
Napolitan.
Kit Kat.
We got my chips with Swanee.
Oh,
What's
I don't know what a
Not
swat
your
is.
chips, my chips.
I'm guessing that's salt. It's like a big picture of salt right there.
My chips now with Swanee, extra Swanee.
I've decided my favorite flavored chips are the ones with salt.
Now with Retsin.
Now this one was tricky at the grocery store. I was like trying to find ham, and it's called sunka.
Suka.
Is
Sunka
that like-
kahuna, and it's actually ham. And so I've been making ham sandwiches at night for dinner.
Meat and cookies.
All right, yeah.
And then
meat-
of course you couldn't have a trip without some
Oh my
Twix.
God!
What, did you smuggle that across the border? Is that available there?
No, they actually sell them at the stores here. So
Nikolai,
Pretty
what do
funny.
you eat for breakfast every morning?
This morning I had a Blue Jeans ham, egg, and cheese waffle. Not waffle. English muffin.
Okay.
If I don't have that, I'll have cereal or a Pop-Tart.
Clint, what do you eat for breakfast of a day?
Man, I worked till about 2 a.m. this morning. I slept for a couple hours, had to take the kid to school, and I ended up at Waffle House.
Attaboy, awful waffle.
The awful waffle.
What'd you eat there? Because I love Waffle House.
You know, I don't know.
love
I walked in and this lady smiled at me and she put a plate down and a drink and it was all good. It was
There you
like an omelet and some hash browns.
Mac Dunn, what do you eat for breakfast?
A pot of coffee. That's what I
Okay.
consume in the morning, every morning. I don't even eat breakfast anymore. I just drink an entire pot of coffee. And then I brew another pot at noon. I'm not even joking either. I'm literally not joking. I drink a pot and a half of coffee daily.
Hey, after you started eating bananas, you know that one morning you got up at when we were at Oshkosh and you said, I need potassium, let's go to the store?
Yeah,
I've been eating bananas ever since.
I'm telling you, brother. And have you been eating those McGriddles?
Yeah, I might have eaten a McGriddle this week.
So here's
Yeah.
all you guys listening. Here is the reason that advertising exists. So we go to McDonald's, Jason, Jim, and myself, heading towards Oshkosh, morning number 3. I don't know.
And in the
and,
event, you have to eat well enough to run you to 2 o'clock. That's
Yeah.
just the rules.
So we stop at Mickey D's. Jim orders. He does his charismatic banter with the lady on the microphone. She is embarrassed. Anyway, the reality is that thrown in is a McGriddle. We all ordered bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Blah blah blah. There's a
Highly
McGriddle in there.
What is this McGriddle doing in my bag?
And Jim's like, I don't want this crap. And I go, dude, you've never had a McGriddle? Nah, what? Blah, blah, blah. There was some curse words thrown. Things were said. It almost went out the window, and I made him eat it, and now he eats one almost every day. Because
I never wanted that McGriddle to end.
So we decided that, or at least I decided, that those are thrown in purposefully for people just like Jim that had no desire, no even idea what a McGriddle was, and then they just throw one in a bag. McDonald's gives one away. Let's say they do that a couple times a day. They accidentally throw a McGriddle in. Bam, you've created a new customer that loves McGriddles. Right?
Yes, yes.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, yep. Somebody agreed with me. So it worked. It worked.
Hey, I wanted to not get too far away from RC, but I did wanted to highlight.
We did that.
Mr. Matt Gunn, who's just put up his article about the Ready-Made RC FPV Fest.
Yeah.
So be sure to check that out. It's chock full of information and photos of all the good times there.
We do chock full, don't we?
Yeah.
Yep. We had a good time. That was a great little experience. Every year's fun. I have a blast at FPV Fest.
And once again, for those of you in Nashville, we're having Nashpro next week, Wednesday to Sunday. Sunday, everybody's gone. It's kind of like Joe Knoll. But we will be ripping and a tearing, so if you're in the Nashville area, be sure to...
Mark Murdoch.
Ripping and a tearing.
Yeah, come on.
Hey, look what I found, Matt. You remember how I said I couldn't find the thing that went on this hat?
Yeah.
It was on the fin wing penguin.
Oh, there you go.
I was like,
so now you
there
can
it
mount
is.
your GoPro.
Yeah, I can. I don't need Jason now. I can just mount the camera on my head.
Oh, yeah. So I guess real quick, I wanted to show you guys this. I've already during this live broadcast, I've already been 3D printing to the point that I've turned out a couple of tiny whoop cameras. But this is the Iris.
We can make cameras now for 3D printers. That's amazing.
Yeah, buddy. So this is the Iris from See Me CNC. Now this is let's see if I can get a better picture of it because you can't really see it very well. All right, so there's the top of it. It's a Delta printer, and
That thing's huge.
It's not, dude. It's small. It's literally
It's really
it weighs.
tall. It's a lot taller than most I've seen.
What's a thing like that cost, Matt Gunn?
$500, man, and it's ready to print. It is comes with a spool. It's already been tuned from the factory, so all you have to do is literally plug it in and download matter control. And then when you do that, see, I just printed another tiny whoop. So here's my tiny whoop camera mount that I printed while we were talking.
Nice.
And then just did another one right there. I was hoping that we could get her in action. And then this is all a PLA printer. So here's some ABS. This is a servo cover for I don't know, for something you want to get aerodynamic. But this is a really awesome printer. I can't say enough good things about this little guy. Now, not only is the price right, but it works right out the box, and I'm doing a review on it right now. So
It's like none of those things work out of the box.
Nothing. I have a roast. You want to talk about big, Jason? I got a 4.5-foot one right over here. That is this printer times 7. So it's a huge Delta printer, and it's just too big. I can't get it to work all the time. It took me like about a month to get right. And then now it doesn't print consistently. But this little guy so far prints very consistently, so I'm digging it. So
cool.
It just came out too, like literally about a month ago. They just launched it. So I'm one of the early adopters, and I bought it outright, and it works well. So
I wanted to announce that the RCGroups video channel on YouTube just broke 3 million views.
Awesome, man.
So we kind of neglected this channel forever because our videos were hosted on RCGroups, and then one day we said, you know what, let's utilize YouTube, and so we've really been making an effort to upload all the videos that we produce there, and it's really been growing by leaps and bounds. So I haven't really said that anywhere. I wanted to say it here.
Attaboy. 10,000 subscribers too.
Mr. Clint. Oh, look, I wonder why Clint looked the same the whole time.
It's his profile pic.
I wonder if he lost.
Is that his profile picture? There he is.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
So we're going to have a contest Yes, sir. Let me hear Mr. Anderson there. Nice,
Hello.
nice jacket. Yes, that sounds 8,000 times better.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah.
So, Clint, is there anything Mr. Anderson needs to discuss about these ESCs?
Oh, I was going to let him hit the really cool features because he can remember the words.
Nice.
But
Yeah, so we did some pretty cool things in the firmware, in the V5 firmware. We really worked to increase the efficiency of the firmware. We've got an adaptive timing system, so there's no more monkeying with the timing settings. It's doing it on the fly, so it's going to do a better job than you could with just a fixed timing setting. And we're doing a lot of things with our PWM techniques they're kind of different. In fact, you can kind of hear it when you take off the first time. It sounds a lot different, and you can hear it flying through the air. So we're pretty excited about it. We've upped the response rate a lot, and it just flies a whole lot better than pretty much anything we've seen. So.
Awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Good stuff.
We're really excited about it. I've been flying it all the time. I've got several quads, and I go out back and fly pretty much every day after work, and it's been so much fun. So, and the new DMRs, we're really excited about those. The form factor is just so much easier to fit, and we're really excited about the performance on them. We've got the board resistance way down, so they're quite a bit more efficient than pretty much anything else we've seen. So.
Well, you have a dream job, I'll tell you what, man. It's like you say you're flying after work, you should be flying on the clock.
I do sometimes, but it's a hobby as well for me. So.
Yeah. There you go. Now, where are you located?
Olathe, Kansas. So it's southern Kansas City area, and we've got a pretty big facility here. We do all of our board assembly here. And we do some assembly and testing in other locations, other sites as well. But every board starts here.
So do y'all have a giant?
I love the googly eyes head plays in the back there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I kind of made that my symbol. They're kind of fun when you show up to races. I've got a lot of pictures and stuff, and you get a lot of media from it. I went to a bigger race, and they kept taking pictures of me. I'm in like 5 of the shots out of like the 20 for the event.
Yeah. There's nothing to signify FPV better than a giant dude with googly eyes on. That's like every media outlet's like, oh, this is gold. Get this on the front page.
Do you have a giant Faraday cage at your facility?
We do. Yeah, we do CE testing here in house. Well, we'll start it here. So we look for issues here, and then we send it out to an independent testing facility to make sure there's no issues with radio interference and unintended emissions. So we have it's about a room-sized Faraday cage here and a spectrum analyzer where we start our testing.
Well, how old are you, Mr. Anderson?
I am 28.
And how did you get involved in RC/electronics?
It was kind of, so I was involved in electronics before Castle. It's something I did in school. I did a lot of robotics. And then when I always wanted to do stuff with RC helicopters, but didn't really have the money when I was a student. So I got this job straight out of college, and I picked the hobby up straight away. I bought a helicopter before I even started. So crashed several times, and now I can fly them just fine. So it's just such a fun hobby. So and I'm into cars now. I'm into boats and planes as well. And this FPV thing is just kind of a whole new segment that's renewing the hobby for me. So
awesome. Well,
hey, speaking of boats, I'm sorry, Jim, but
I was just gonna say maybe we'll see it at Toledo next year.
Speaking of boats, do you guys see yourself relaunching the Marine series?
I'm not sure I can speak too much on that. I don't have too much to do with those decisions. But,
okay, yeah, because the Castle Marine line was awesome, man, and we really a lot of guys won. You know, a lot of the FE classes in IMPBA racing. Everyone had the Castle stuff in it, and then you guys discontinued it. I think that's what happened, right? I mean, it kind of just went away, and everyone's been hoping you'd bring it back. So.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. It was discontinued, and they been getting a lot of emails from customers asking them to bring it back, and you know, you never know. I mean, if they're getting feedback from customers, it never hurts, right?
That's right. Oh yeah.
The only thing really before that was the Gropner ESC that was waterproof. That's the only one I can think of that existed for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Now you've got a couple of dedicated lines out there, so they need those guys need some stiff competition from American company.
Cliff, I'm going to swing back to you here at the end. Let's hit Nikolai. Nikolai, what do you have coming up in the upcoming week?
Still working on the Dromede Voyager. It's like a Champ, little micro high wing. So went flying last night, and with that, we got a little footage for that. And then we've got the Phoenix Strega on my build table.
And that Voyager, does it have rudder, aileron, elevator, all that stuff, or is it limited?
3-channel, no aileron.
Okay. And I just put up a review for Dromeda for the twin.
It's just become the new name, Dromeda.
Jason Cole, I know what you're doing next week, and you can't tell us anyway legally. So I guess you're just going to compete and eat Croatian cookies.
I've got some cool stuff coming, though, I can tell you about. So I do have the Diatone Crusader frame on my table at home in Nashville. I was waiting on a video transmitter to come in before I can finish that. So once I get home from that, I can finish that and do that review. But I've also, one of the pilots here is the designer for the Pyrodrone Hyperlight frame, which is a really, really nice, extremely well designed and thought out frame. It's in some of the top pilots, drone racing pilots in the world's hands right now, and they're loving it. And he's here, so we're going to do a video, and I'll do an article on that frame and kind of an interview with Bob, the designer. And he actually, a lot of the competitors here wanted one, and so he placed an order with his company, and so they're having a bunch shipped here. So I will be building it here, getting it ready to fly, and so I'll have one of my own that I can talk about and show off and do a review on. So I'm really excited about that. We should hopefully get those here next week, so I can maybe have it built and ready to show you guys on camera on the podcast next week.
Awesome. And Matt Gunn, what do you got going?
Oh man, just trying to finish up this Iris build right here. And, just ripping and a tearing, as Jimbo says.
Well, I'm going to be at Nashville, and so someone call me if I don't show up. I guess I'll host out of the field if I can.
Yeah, you can make it happen, man. You got a hot spot.
Yeah, I got my nice
Hey, I'm
car.
doing it from Croatia. You should be able to do it from Leaper's Fork.
I don't know, man. It's kind of a crazy place over there.
That's true.
Those backwoods.
Mr. Clint, you're going to send me that piece on this new unit so that I can get a feature up, and then I'm going to pitch you the concept on how we're going to give some away, how many we're going to give away, and all that stuff. And if we do it well, I may be able to get that in the Friday mass email going out tomorrow to over 100,000 people.
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Oops. Yeah, that sounds awesome, man. That's fantastic.
All right, awesome. Well, we're really excited you guys came on. I literally, for everyone out there, I said, Clint, can you do it? And he said, I need to get permission. And he got permission like right at 2 o'clock to talk about it. So that's how fresh this news is.
Awesome.
Love it.
All right, all right. Well, thanks, everybody, for your time. It's Thursday, the end of Thursday, meaning Friday's basically here. So you've made it through another week and straight into the weekend. I'm Jim T. Graham. You've been watching the RCGroups live hangout, and we will check you out next week, Thursday, 2 o'clock, if I can get out of the field in Nashville.
I think you'll be able to do it.
Matt Gunn will be in charge.
Oh, yeah, I can run the show. All I got to do is say hot trigger a few times.
Hot trigger! All right, we're out of here. Bye!